Yeah, this is a surprise to everybody in Mexico, the election of López Obrador, but it has a reason. The reason is we have not moved fast enough solving the problems of people, committing with jobs and education for them. So people are in a way desperate. They need solutions. And this is where the leading countries, leading economies, and leading businessmen and community, we must accelerate our pace. Otherwise, there will be no walls high enough to limit.
Having looked at this region from the outside, Central, Latin, Southern America, it should be bounteous. It should be the time of that continent, and it's not. Whether it's Brazil and the huge political consternation we've seen there, whether it's Argentina with the same, whether it's Mexico, the three largest countries south of the American border on the continent. It just seems that we go from one political crisis to the next.
Good question and good comment. It's very difficult to reach that high level of harmony between private sector and public sector so that we can work together hand by hand building those opportunities. And in Latin America, we take one step forward and then we come back 2 steps. This is the fight or the conflict between populism and demagoguery, these false prophets that come and promise everything, and the real market, the real economy that has to grow, that has to offer opportunities to people.
So here's the risk. We're coming up to a presidential election in 2020, and what we have seen in recent weeks has been a president doubling down on some of those promises. Around a deal with China on trade, we've seen some movement on that issue. Domestically at home, he's been pushing back about some of the Democrats' domestic policies. And even on foreign policy, we've seen a significant change in Syria, getting US troops off the ground in that country. The other risk would seem around the big promise, a big, beautiful wall on the border, the use of emergency funding, right, and problems with using some of those funds, now trying to close the gap between what has been built and what hasn't been built. Is there a risk, as we count down to the US election, that there's even more pressure on Mexico to come up with the funds to build that wall?
Well, we have to build our own future. We have to work on ourselves. Fortunately, the migration trend with Mexico reversed totally 100%. So many more Mexicans are coming back into Mexico because of NAFTA, because we're building the opportunities, because we're full employment today in our economy, than those coming in. The ones that are migrating is Central Americans because they don't have the opportunity.
But that's a fundamental, that's a fact that may not carry any weight when you're in a political cycle and Trump is talking about the wall, and if he's pressed by political opponents saying, well, where is that big wall that you promised? You could see how the pressure could then be quickly switched around to some form of a trade tariff or some form of a sanction on Mexico to try and get this wall done.
Well, he tried everything, but you know, that kind of leadership that is not a compassive leadership, a leadership really to promote economic growth. The case of Trump, he's isolating that great nation into 4 walls. And what is happening is that it's losing capacity to grow. I mean, 300 million Americans cannot be enclosed in 4 walls. That is isolation, and that limits the capacity to grow. I think these new visions for the world that are isolating, it doesn't help for growth, for development, and for jobs.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.